look who I have. You all know I've been wanting to have Reese on for so long.
Hey,
Reese, are
babe.
you going to call me True to It, Liz, or Elizabeth?
I always call you True to It, but I'll call you whatever you want to call you. It's
Let's
so
go with
I
True
don't
to
wanna
It
be-
because we got Liz Tricks, who's the bomb diggity bomb, and a lot of Elizabeths.
It's true. Like I call her Liz Tricks. Like I call people,
Yeah.
it's weird. I don't realize I do it, but that you are true to it to me, but I can call you Elizabeth.
Well, a lot of people call me Liz. So I could be True Liz and she's Liz Tricks, or I could be Liz Tricks too. Whatever. Let's get on. Hey, so let me tell you, Peggy is in the chat. She loves you dearly. Everybody here, Kathy, hi.
Peggy's a mod over here. That's cool. I love Peggy Collins.
Oh, cool. See, some of your peeps are coming in. Renee, hi, you guys. Kathy. And Reese, screw everybody. I love your roll call. And I want to have 20,000 people so I can sit here for half an hour, but it's only going to take a few minutes.
It's fairly manipulative. My roll call is very manipulative, as you well know. So,
oh gosh, how horrible of you to welcome people into your room.
how is a roll call manipulative?
I don't know. And I've had people, I won't call them out, say, I think she learned that from Scientology. I'm like, maybe.
Maybe, or I think just if you ever saw me in public, if anybody has a name tag, or if someone comes over and says, "Hi, my name is blah blah blah," it's a no. I've done it since I was little. I call people by their name. I just like people to feel acknowledged. I don't know that it's a Scientology thing, other than I can't tell you throughout life how many people are like, "Thanks for not just doing this or whistling," or like acknowledging that you're a human being with your name. Wow, what a concept.
That is, especially growing up in Scientology like you have. And if you guys don't know, Reese has grown up in Scientology with, if I may say so, not such a great dad. I
Not
think
the greatest. Yeah.
your mom
He
is
tried. He
your
really
mom is beautiful and wonderful, and we're not. Pippa is bouncing my table, so I'm really sorry. I have a small pony of a dog in the house bouncing my table. So this is when I talk about what happens to us when we're little, even in the womb. Like, I am not blaming moms. I'm a mom, you're a mom. It's interesting to think about what was going on with you when you were pregnant with Huxley and some of the characteristics, the frequencies that they pick up from us and carry through life. And interestingly enough, it shows up in our numerology. And no, I'm not using a crystal ball, which is so, I wish I could.
I said that last night.
I know. You're so cute. I wish I could, right? Man, we could solve all our problems. But astrology and numerology are a little bit of a science to me. Maybe not to everybody. Hi, Meredith. I've been doing readings for Meredith. She came from your channel.
Meredith.
Yeah, Meredith's in here.
Oh my God. I didn't know that. She's a friend of mine. That's amazing.
Yeah. So talk to her about it. She's at work right now, I believe. So she's lurking.
I love Meredith.
And Peggy's going to do her best. Peggy, love you for being here. She'll try to moderate, and I don't think she can star comments. So it's just me, Reese. You know how that goes. We don't get to be part of a team. No.
I don't have anybody starring my comments.
Oh, you're amazing how you handle it.
I don't want anybody starring my comments. Like, I couldn't do it if I wasn't doing it myself. I know that sounds terrible, but
how do we get readings from you? Just email me. I'll put it up right now. I have a link tree, but let me just do this really quick. Just email me. Okay. And I do all kinds of readings. I just have a knowing. I've had 2 near-death experiences, Reese, one when I was really little and one through the whole cancer thing I've been through. So did that make me more intuitive? I don't know. It gave me an understanding of our connection to God. I don't play source or anything. I'm all about God and Jesus and the archangels. And that being said, my dad was Jewish. My mom was Christian. I married a Cuban Catholic.
Wow.
I raised my kids Catholic. See my gray? Got to go get that fixed. I have ADD, so I'm going to be all over the place. But
I don't know anything about that.
You can understand. This conversation is going to go everywhere. But you can understand my interest in philosophy, religion, spirituality, and never really knowing where I fit. So at one point, and I am a former journalist and a stay-at-home mom, all of the things you've talked about, where you're juggling a lot. And I don't know how you have done it through Scientology and raising your son, and now all of this. Your consistency is so admirable. It's like star power, consistency. It's like amazing. That's what I wanted to. Yeah, for real. And it's in your numerology too. And we'll get to that really quickly.
Cool. I of myself is consistent.
Are you kidding? You're the most consistent person I can think of. Amazing.
No.
Amazing. All right. Well, I know we all think differently inside, right? That little child going, eh. But so roundabout, I came over to the Tampa area in college studying journalism, and I'll be 59 in July. I'm July 18th. You're the 10th, right?
I'm the 8th, but I was due on the 18th.
You're the 8th. That changes your numerology a lot. Hold on a minute. Okay, we'll get to that.
Crazy.
Let me see what you are though. Wait, that changes everything. Not that I can't do this on the fly. 15. That makes us so flipping similar, Reese. No wonder. I'm just so drawn to you. All right. It changed it a little, but not a lot. And let me see where you are this year. So when I get to this, we can roll with it. You're an 8. Oh, baby. I got to tell you stuff about that. 1520. 1520. Aha. Okay. I got you. So anyway, I came to University of South Florida. A lot of us over here, we're still going to spring break, Clearwater Beach, Clearwater. And then you see Scientology take over. Lisa McPherson is all up in the press over here, big time. So I have not liked Scientology for a long time. What do you guys need? Okay, just let me know, Peggy. Get back to me, Peggy, on that. Like Liz Tricks does. Peggy, can you make a note of that, please? And I have my bingo stamper, and we'll highlight it like that. Okay, she's doing it. A member link. Thanks you. Oh, thank you. All right. So I've had this little obsession with Scientology, cults, all that kind of stuff.
Sure.
Okay, flash forward. 2020 happens. I'm back working for, it's called the Tampa Free Press. It is national, but it's based out of here. And I get assigned city county commission meetings for Pinellas, Hillsborough, and Pasco, and Manatee. So that means Liz gets to go and listen to Scientology city council commission meetings.
Okay.
And that led me, do you speak Pig Latin by any chance?
Is that the backwards stuff?
Yeah. Yeah. So like East Ray, you're East Ray. I'm Islay.
Yes. Come on.
Okay. Well, I can't really do Aaron that way, but you know who I'm talking about. So I found his channel and I was like, wow, this is really cool. I appreciate all he does to squash it.
Come here.
And then on a totally, completely separate angle.
I let Gertie in and she's eating the cat's food.
That's okay. I'm going to keep talking. I have had a brother die from addictions and a fiance. So lo and behold,
you had a brother what?
Die from an addiction, a cocaine addiction, and a fiance from alcohol.
That's horrible.
Yeah, like what's wrong with me that I got with these people? But we'll talk about that another time. We're here to learn a lot of lessons and take wisdom from the wounds, right? But so I was, I listened to a lot of this stuff, and I came across, well, I'll just say I came across a lifeboat,
Mhm.
completely separate, right? And I thought, what a great concept. Everybody's out there helping people, trying
Mhm.
to heal. The first one, the main one that outed you, which I think mostly people are brought up to speed with Reese's story. If you're not, she was abruptly outed on YouTube, and so those worlds collided for me, just like they did for you. I watched it all happen, and I thought, what a cosmic connection, that there's just a divine reason and that this all happened. And I feel like it was to meet you. And so
Wow.
it's such a pleasure. And that's why I've been bugging you. I'm like, there's a reason. Plus I love your channel. I love your humor. My cousin is a famous comedic writer. So
Wow.
I kind of know funny and star power when I see it. So I love that about you.
Thank you.
And you guys, who else can do a 13-hour Zoom call?
I can't believe it happens.
I had to get off after 4 because people needed me, but I came back, I couldn't get back in, and you were still there. So maybe I have to get my link again or something.
Because I have people come and go all day long.
I
So
need
that's
to
not right. Okay, we'll fix
I
that.
did something wrong.
Okay.
Yeah, so that is how all of this led me to you.
That's crazy. See, I didn't even know that. I did not know the Aaron's channel and then the lifeboat. That's crazy.
Yeah, and then to see you connect with Amte, Amite, Tommy.
Oh, Tommy. Oh, you can say his name. Okay.
You just never know what you can talk about, because if I tell you, like, I'm very offended by these people, I really thought it would go away, and we're not going to dwell on this either. But what's aspired lately, having Jewish origins and all these different religious backgrounds, I don't appreciate where they're coming from. But that being said, as far as all of the Scientology, what I witnessed was you thrown onto YouTube, which I think you were like, okay, that's
Yeah.
how did you not know what else to do? And Aaron said, this is a great idea. Do this.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Aaron said that. And then my husband at the time said, yeah, start a YouTube channel. And I was like, I don't even watch YouTube. Like, my biggest thing was there's already tons of ex-Scientologists. Like, what else could I bring to the table? And then the only way that really sold me on it was Aaron said, think how many news anchors there are repeating all the same thing, and people have their favorites that they watch. And I thought, oh, well, that's a good point. Like they're all saying the same thing, but people who pick who they want. So, at the time, Jeff ordered me a microphone and I tried to plug it in and it didn't work. So that's why I don't have one. But he ordered me a mic and said, here you go, you're going to start a channel. And I just did. I just went through the hoops and figured it out.
So I always wondered if Aaron walked you through it and helped you set up, like.
Not much. I think when I had a question, I'd call and ask him, but not really. It's pretty simple. I mean, it's pretty easy to do. It doesn't.
Well, it is. I mean, because of your numerology, but because you really are, you're a leader. You definitely have that.
Really?
Yes,
Okay.
you do. You also, at the same time, you can control and be that leader, but you can be controlled. So,
Fact.
yeah. Yeah. So, understanding a lot of that will help.
Yeah.
When like, whoa. Because in the moment, I think we know we're being controlled, but acquiesce to that, like we'll let it happen, you know?
Yeah. That's why I'm staying in a place where I'm just taking care of me right now, because I am susceptible to that big time and I want to be aware of it.
Yeah, and I hope some of what I'll highlight for you, some of it will be like, yeah, that makes sense. And if it doesn't, it just doesn't. But
Okay.
it's things that you can think about, understand, and when there's more time, if you want, it's really cool to say, like, look at your dad's birthday. I don't need time or place. Your mom, Huxley,
Yeah.
even your husband's, and it's like it's a legacy reading, so you can see how alike you are, why things happen, and how different you are. And it's very illuminating. So it's really cool. I do charms, but that's a whole nother thing.
Okay. I
The
don't even,
charms and the crystal ball, that's another thing. But
okay.
so what I was really interested in you and noticed was here, you know, plop, you're outed, you're disconnected. And let me add to that, on my journey of trying to learn things, and I don't like holidays, I thought being a Jehovah Witness would be really good. And I studied for a couple of years till they called me a person of interest. Number one. Number two, the people that I studied with, these two women I had known a long time, and they were okay with being disconnected from their children who left the truth. And I sat there like this, just bawling that she would expect me to disconnect from my kids. So I quit talking at that time to them, and I quit journalism in 2020. It was horrible. And I did a deep dive into this, much like you, and started a YouTube channel. But for me, it was a lot harder. I think you really are somebody who can start projects, lead them, and finish them. So don't ever forget that. Like, you really are a natural born leader.
I'll try.
Very much an old soul and very intuitive, very highly intuitive. So
Thank-
when you think things like, and it may go against typical religious Bible instructions to talk about these things or feel that we can be that close to God without going through a church. I just feel like a lot of us can. It's that power of prayer, you know, and like the connections you feel to Fred, for example, that's real.
Oh, yeah.
And I am a true believer in the fact that energy can't be created or destroyed. Like this, we're here, but our soul crosses on. Do I know exactly what happens? No. But, you know, I firmly believe in that. Thank you, Gigi. She's so sweet, giving me a super chat sticker, super sticker.
Oh, nice.
Thank you, baby. She's a good friend of mine. I really appreciate that, Amy. So, where was I, Reese?
You were talking about just Fred and
Yeah, these signs and synchronicities, and let that be a guiding light for you too, because I hear you talk about going to some of the organized religions, and you know, I get it. I appreciate them. I love the people. I love being close to God and always trying to do our best, right? But I don't fit in those boxes. And I just wanted to share that with you.
nice.
Now,
Leslie
now,
with S, I have not. She said, have you ever had any kind of reading before? No.
oh, good. You can see these.
Yeah.
Look at you. Look at you. You do that. You handle the chat, Reese, and I'll think of what.
Constantly looking at the chat. I can't click on them because I'm on your channel, but I constantly just out of habit.
Okay, good. Yeah. Well, let me know if I need to see something.
Okay.
Okay. So, since you've never had a reading before, I'm going to tell you a little bit about your numerology. Since now I've got to fix it a little bit. That I totally get what's going on. All right. Now, numerology is all about boiling down your birth date to one number. That's how most people do it. And they'll say, Reese, you're a life path 2. Or you're a life, they'll say you're a life path 2, which I am also, interestingly enough. But I have learned to look at all the numbers in your birth date. Like we're a layer, just like astrology, you're not just one sign, you know? Do you know your chart very well? Has anybody done that for you? This is going to be so fun. We're not doing that today. But you're not just a Cancer. Your personal planets, your sun, moon, your rising sign really says a lot about you. Mercury is how you communicate. It's kind of character. I know it's a whole new language.
Oh, it's cool. I've never heard this before. It's like a different language to me. I don't know what, I didn't realize.
Absolutely. So like the energy of the planet Venus is how we operate in love and nurture, romance, flirt, money, things like that.
I mean, it makes sense. I've just never heard this before, but it totally.
Yeah, like you can picture Venus. You can, if you think of Mercury goes in retrograde. It has to do with how we think, how we communicate, and a lot of times tech and, all of those things that break down when it goes in retrograde, which really isn't a thing. It looks like it's going backwards, but astronomically speaking, it's just slowing. So the planets don't really go backwards, but it's a feeling we get. And we all get these frequencies and vibrations. And I think as we go further into understanding this in quantum physics, that this will just start to be ordinary conversation. So what I've done then is create a numerology code for you. So your main, what I call your life energy number is 2. So write this down. Make a little note. It's
something in
2. Oh, you got cat allergies again.
I feel like I have something in my eye. Okay, hold on. I got my little notebook here.
Okay, just write like 2-4-8-7. And then I want you to write down that you right now are in a 6th year. I call that your life path. Like that this year, your path is that. So I speak numerology a little differently than most people. So what I just gave you, 2, 4, 8, 7 is like your life code, much like your astrology chart. So what I can tell you about just from those numbers, the overall energy is you are what we call the high priestess, like somebody who just knows, like you intuitively know things, spiritually gifted in nature. Maybe you haven't had the chance to really, we all have these abilities, but you've probably been squashed. However, I do have questions about what's similar to spirituality and Scientology. So don't let me get off of that.
Okay.
But the 2 is somebody who is very intuitive, very patient, can like see things with their eyes closed. Like you can read a room, you walk in quietly, powerfully, but you read the room. I do want you to be careful not to absorb everybody's emotions because you can be like a sponge. And that's where people say, oh, Reese, they're being energy vampires. They're just sucking all the energy out of you. And if you don't keep your boundaries up, because boundary issues can be a problem for you. And that comes with the 4. Let me read it. So you're not just a 2, right? The 4 is in you. And for those of you that are listening in the chat that know what I'm talking about, 4 is the energy of an emperor, like the ruler.
Wow.
Somebody, natural born leader, kind of the father energy of this world, which I find fascinating because Now that I look at your code, I have more questions about your mom, not in a bad way, but the fact that she wasn't there. And I feel like the 4 not only is the natural born leader in you, the highly intuitive person, but the logical thinker also, but like the father in you. You literally had to raise yourself, and you did. And I can see it in your numbers. I think you have difficulty shutting off your mind, like times 3, based on your numerology. People with the frequency of 4 in them are very practical, and they have a very quick, dry wit.
Okay, well, that I'll agree with you on.
Okay, thank you for that. They're original, intelligent perfectionists. Yeah? No?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, high standards there, I would say.
Yeah, and some of it, has been maybe pounded into you by Scientology, but I believe it came into the world like this too. So you got to love every little bit of yourself, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I'm not saying any of this is ugly. It's just a phrase.
No, but I like that. It's true. It's self-care either way.
Absolutely. That's what this is all about, understanding ourselves and what we have to kind of tweak.
I do have one quick question before you go forward. The 2, 4, 8, 7, are those in order? Like the 2 is the most and then the 4, or is it just like you're all 4 of these? It's not one is more powerful than the other.
I believe you're all 4 of them.
Okay.
But if somebody wanted to really beat you down and say, but what one number are you? You're a 2. 2's the main one. But
Okay.
I think they all matter. And like the 4 is very strong in you. It just is. You are a leader. You're somebody who, with that star power, you can come out. You find all of this easy. You can, it's just amazing. You're, again, original, charismatic, philosophical by nature, even though and I don't know where that plays into Scientology. That's something I'm curious about. A need to feel respected. Emotionally controlled. Like you can control your emotions very well. But then that whole control thing is, yes, you can lead, but you also can be controlled. You know what I mean? There's a lot of ebb and flow there.
Yeah, I would agree.
You can be intimidating to people, apparently.
I guess so, right?
Yep. I don't know if this is true of you, but difficulty being able to forgive.
I think that was true as a Scientologist. I don't feel that way at all now.
Awesome.
That's not true. I think it's case by case. If somebody really intentionally burns me, yeah, I'm done.
Well, what's interesting, I know about a 2 because I'm a 2 also. We cut all ties when betrayed. Once you get to that point, like,
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's a case by case thing for me. And it depends on how much I liked the person.
True. But I do believe also that, you need to feel respected deeply.
I can't say that I agree with that because I'm always moving the goalpost with boundaries. So I feel like as a Scientologist, I don't know. I feel like disrespect is pretty common.
Interesting.
Like I never feel like I've always like a couple of things. I never feel like I need an apology. I'm like my ex-husband would be like, you need to apologize to me. I would always think, gosh, I've never said those words. I don't care. If you disrespect, it just shows me who you are. So I kind of feel like I've never demanded respect. I don't feel like I need to be respected. If you disrespect me, it's more of a reflection on you. That's just how I see it.
I like that.
Yeah.
So because some people with a 4 can wallow around in that where you're like, no, I could be that way, but I
never
see
mattered.
you
it
have
doesn't never mattered to me. Like if someone's disrespectful, I'm like, that's not me, that's them. I don't know. I don't really absorb it.
Yeah. Well, I absorb the hell out of it and get all sensitive and I spin. You don't have the numbers in you that make you spin as much. I just think you get caught up in your head a lot,
I
which
do.
is pretty common for anybody, you know?
I dissect and overthink hours into the night.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's in almost all of your numbers that you'll do that. So have you ever tried guided sleep meditation or music or um well, we can talk about it. There's ways to kind of like tune into something so we can tune out and just go to sleep. And it's just another self-help tool. And I love the fact that you watch Mel Robbins. I think she's the bomb diggity bomb.
I love her.
I
Very
adore.
very inspired by her.
Yeah, she adds a lot to what we try to do with spirituality in a very real way. And all the healing, the motivation, the consistency, the getting out of bed, all of it is a lot what we try to do here too. So it's a good overlap. You're drawn to quirky people.
Yes. Very much so.
Me too. And this I would think also when confronted with emotion prefer facts over emotion, and that you like to be consulted privately with these issues.
I've never thought about that when you put it in those words. I think that's hard for me to agree to because I can get very emotional. Like I would probably say I'm a half factual, half emotional, but just with my Scientology training, I know that's been true. Like having arguments with spouses in the past, I can recall many times going, okay, well, let's stick to what's real. Let's stick to the topic. Let's stick to what we're talking about. Cause like I just went back and I thought of my ex-husband being like, we're fighting over something, but then when it's not working out for him, he'd be like, well, what about all the times that what about that one time? And I would be like, okay, well, let's just stick to what we're doing here though. Like he would get emotional and weird. And like, I'd be like, that doesn't have anything to do with, so I do kind of agree with you on that.
You're probably better at staying in the moment than most people, or do you feel like you do go constantly?
No, I would say I stay more in the moment.
Yeah, I see that about you, which is a little bit unusual for your numbers. So that's really cool.
You know why though? It makes sense. I have had hardcore training on, it's a Scientology thing, staying in PT, present time.
Yeah.
So getting restimulated is the same as getting triggered or having like a past thing get brought up.
Yeah, see, that's kind of one of the
come to present time. So
yeah. So that's one of those similar things about spirituality and Scientology I find oddly similar. And maybe it's just a good life hack. I guess at its best, Scientology is here to help you be like, I've just heard so many bad things. I guess what I see out of you is, and people in it, that they have to be independent, they have to be consistent, they have to be in control of their emotions, they have to stay in the moment.
Yeah.
They believe in these thetans, right? Well, sometimes I think we feel like there's dark energy attached to us and we have to clear it. You'll hear that. Is that the same? And then there's other people who feel very psychic, have an ability to remote view, remote travel, and they feel like they go to other planets. I've even had a dream myself, so I'm not making fun of anybody. And they'll talk about the Galactic Federation of Light. Now, is that a Scientology term?
Yeah, like the Confederacy.
So where's that crossover? How did that happen?
I think it's called the Markab Confederacy, but he uses the word galactic a lot. But there is actually a location that L. Ron Hubbard talks about called the Markab Confederacy. Honestly, I don't know a lot about it. I think it's MARCAB. And if I recall, sorry, I'm watching this cat just to see what he's doing.
That's
if I recall, he just pottied and I'm like paying attention to his bathroom habits to make sure he's going. If I recall, the Markab Confederacy is in some of the more deep trainings, but I recall reading something about it, and I could get eaten alive. Other Scientologists may say I'm wrong on this, but I think it's an evil galactic place. Like the Markhab Confederacy is where there's like a bunch of evil overlords, and they kind of like run things, if I recall.
So that's not something you would strive to be.
No.
Is that where the Thetans come from?
The Thetans, I mean, we're 76 trillion years old, according to L. Ron Hubbard. So native state, we're like OT 15. That's what he says we were. And like we, we're free, and we weren't like this, running a body. And there was all different planets and different places we're from, according to him. Like my old father-in-law would say, me and my sons and Huxley, my son, very, very convenient. He'd say, we're all from the same home planet.
Interesting.
I was like, oh, yeah, it's weird that I'm not in that group. But yeah, no, that makes sense.
Yeah, there's some crossover there that I'd have to talk to you more. Like I hear it and I'm like, oh, wow. How do I handle that? How do I interpret that? But, if we looked at the numerology, I wonder if it would show the connections, and you could tell them, oh, we are from the same planet.
Yeah. It's weird talk. There's some
It is weird talk. And so like, I don't want to freak you out by talking about planets and all this stuff and think, oh God, this is just more BS, I got to deal with.
Oh,
because I want you, what we're about is like just being free of all of that, but connected to God and our higher self and that gut intuition. So when we're going through all these trials and tribulations, like your friend said, it's the cult of 15. Let them, and because I'll absorb it, I'll spin. I'm still getting over what happened to me when you were going through stuff. Peggy says, aren't we all weird? Yes, we are. Love you, Peggy.
And this doesn't weird me out at all, just so you know. I'm comfortable.
Okay, cool. Okay, cool. Because what I want you to know too is like, I have the 2 in me, which is a sponge. I'm going to read this to you really quick. Okay. It's the intuitive. And I didn't write this, but I'll read what the author wrote. It's pretty quick, and I'm going to read a couple of them to you. You're an old soul, the record keeper, highly intuitive. Now, whether you believe this or not, because I know you were an ice cube, we'll see. Yeah. You've walked this earth many lifetimes before. You're responsible. You feel the need to be responsible, alert and aware of what is going around you and the people you love. You tend to prepare for the future. You also worry about not knowing what it'll bring. I think that's pretty common. If you are concerned in your world, it is difficult for you to rest. And that comes up a lot in your numerology. You may be distracted by a nagging dread even when times are peaceful and calm. You struggle with absorption of other people's emotions. And that's just being a sponge and being caring and loving and nurturing, which you really are at heart. Just keep your boundaries up with that. In this, let's see. And you feel the need maybe to save just about everyone and everything. Possibly the animals too. And I'm the same way.
Quite possibly the animals. I would say yes to that.
Me too. Because, our tolerance for people is.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a little worn out. Okay.
It is and it isn't. I'm still pretty tolerant.
Yeah. Well, I'll be 59. I
can't believe that, honestly, but yes.
Thank you. But you're still, I could be your mom. That's why I call you Pumpkin, my little pumpkin. If I was 8. I'd rather be your cool older sister or good friend, but I could be your mom. That's how fucking old I am. So yeah, my tolerance for people is
yeah.
I'm just getting old and crotchety, which you get that too. Oh, Peggy's
I don't know if it's old and crotchety. I think it's wise. You're getting more full of wisdom. You've seen people. I'm learning that on YouTube. I see this.
You would hope I would get more wise.
Well, it sounds like you are.
I'm
less tolerant of people.
Well, that's true.
I wouldn't call that
You're
crotchety.
59. Kathy's 59 too. All right. All right. Well, I'm not making fun of anybody. I can't believe I'm 59. Look at the gray. Getting my hair colored, so we can't go over time. All right. This is a thing.
That's
And if
more
the haters want to hate on me, hate on me. I don't care. All right. Back to you, because this is really cool. In this life, there needs to be a beautiful balance of all living things. To have your own personal boundaries would help to lessen the burden you feel so destined to carry.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of personal boundary issues here. It's a challenge, but one that will serve you well. And then remember, I told you you're the ruler. 1 foot rooted deeply in the world of logic, one deeply in the world of spiritualness.
I like that.
I do too. I see it in you. A beautiful, conflicted powerhouse. People turn to you in times of struggle. They feel protected by your oak tree energy. You take the responsibility of their struggle seriously, and I do believe that. And
Yeah.
on a side note, because we won't have time to talk about it, but I would like to see all these channels that are involved with helping people get out of Scientology actually do that and stop the drama.
We should send them a note.
Yeah, Peggy, Liz Tricks, can you do that?
Put in the minutes for the meeting, and
Yeah, yeah.
it's voted
We
in.
want to see who they're helping.
So mote it be.
So that was cracking. I've never heard that.
It's a Masonic thing.
Ah.
That's what they say every time they do a prayer or anything creepy. My husband would deepen his voice and go, "So mote it be." I don't even know what the word moat means, but it's terrifying.
I don't either. And I thought you were saying mode. And you're like, no.
Yeah, moat. I don't even know what it means, but it's terrifying.
Yeah, we're going to have to dig into that another time. That's just, yeah. So we're going to come up with another phrase. So mark that down too, Peggy.
Those creepy men.
Yeah, Peggy, we got to talk about that. So let's see. You're a professor of a brilliant mind. For you, there is not one issue on this planet that cannot be solved. And I'm going to times that by 2 because of the 7 in you, which is it's a Cancerian energy for sure. And you're able to do the impossible. So don't forget that. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Listen to me now, believe me later.
I'm making
That's a Saturday Night Live reference if you don't know.
Never saw it.
Let's see. The emperor is a powerful leader, but the challenge is surrendering the responsibility to someone else and trusting it is safe to do so. Because I noticed a lot in your numerology, and we all have fear. We talked about it last night. You know, everything comes from fear. But I think that you do have some fear and trust issues, obviously, throughout all of these experiences, whether people believe they happened or not. That's the Jane story. But you're very independent, guarded emotionally, and maybe have a fear of failure.
Big time. I would say I have way more fear than trust issues. That's just from Scientology. I don't really feel like I have trust issues so much. Even after all these people pretending to be friends and then coming out and saying, now I'm going to burn you. I don't really have trust issues. I have fear issues.
Yeah. I think we all do deeply too. So it's good to talk about it, acknowledge them, and where they all come from. I think too that with the 7 in you, very honest. Maybe that's where a lot of that comes from. You can be impatient, unforgiving. Here we go again with the unforgiving thing. You're just like, I just don't care to forgive you or not, right?
I think it's a matter of case by case. It depends on who it is and how bad they hurt me and what the situation is.
Liz Tricks is here.
Oh, good. Here to take notes.
Yeah, Liz, Tricks, and Peggy need to get together. You guys are going to love what we've assigned you today.
Yeah.
And a couple things I want to tell you too. Like, where's my book? I'm going to read to you some, or did I write it down? Did I write it down? No, because I changed your numbers. I'm going to tell you some famous people. Maybe you'll resonate with this. That
well,
you
they
have in
do
you.
call me Beyonce.
Oh gosh, no, you don't want to be Beyonce. Listen to me.
Well, that's according to our good friend in Vermont. And we listen to everything she says because she's an expert on me.
No, I am not dissing Beyonce. I'm just, that's the journalist in me going into that whole Diddy world stuff. We're not going to talk about
no.
We're not going to talk about that either. But because the 2 in you is the main number, we talked about. So famous the high priestess energy, that old soul in you, Jacqueline Kennedy, Prince Charles, Benito Mussolini, Barack Obama, Judge Judy.
Okay, I like that.
Karen Carpenter, Gene Simmons.
Who?
Gene Simmons, Kiss.
Oh, okay.
Bill Clinton, Rosa Parks.
I don't really know any of these people.
Rosa Parks was the first Black woman who sat on the back of the bus. It's Black history. Very important. She was very important.
That's cool. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, amazing woman. Madonna is
not so much now, but I liked her then.
Right. Well, as I said, because of what's going on with entertainment and Hollywood, I don't like anybody anymore.
Right.
Okay, let me tell you some famous emperors. Let's see if this rocks your world a little bit. And I'm not done with you. We gotta go faster, right?
No, you're fine.
You guys are don't come at me for this. I just wanted to get the feel of the numbers and then we'll go deeper. But some famous emperor energy, that leader in you. All right. Peggy, watch the chat. Donald Trump, Bill Gates, Oprah, Bono. That's from you too.
I love Bono.
Yeah, me too. Not creeped out about this, but Charles Manson.
Why would I be creeped out about that? I love that.
No, he was a murderer.
But he has that energy, right? I mean, I murderer energy myself. Do I not? Do I not come across as someone?
And he was very culty. He was very culty.
Right.
Now we know, allegedly, that he was brainwashed and manipulated by the CIA. Mind control stuff. Allegedly.
But I could see resonating with Charles Manson. I think a stopped clock is right at least twice a day, is it not?
Marilyn Manson.
So the Manson guys, okay.
Yeah, we got that covered.
Good.
Margaret Thatcher, she ruled England or Britain or whatever they call it over there. Yeah, geography is not my best strong suit. Howard Stern.
It is my best. I'm really good at it. What? Howard Stern?
Yeah.
Okay.
Frank Sinatra.
I know who that is. All right.
Russell Crowe. You know him.
Okay. He's really let himself go, but sure.
So true. Well, again, it's a Hollywood thing and I can tell you what happened, but we're not going to talk about it now.
Mm-hmm.
It's that creepy stuff. Now the 7 in you, the Chariot,
Yeah, what is the 7? I've written down the
7
4.
is the Chariot and Tarot, and it is, why am I losing my mind right now? It is the Soldier. So like in a past life you weren't on that main planet or an ice cube. You may have been a leader somehow in a war. Maybe you were a nurse or you were a healer. It's that old soldier energy. And some people resonate with stuff like this. They'll be like, yes, my whole life I've dreamed I died on a old battlefield, or they'll, so that's where it kind of gets that energy. But the Chariot is the sign 7, relates to Cancerian energy. And although we're water, it's the Chariot, like really moving forward, always moving forward, balanced. And that's the best for you when you're balanced, for any of us, but it's important for you. And I'm getting to that before we get to the end of the hour. And I read some things to you about 2, 4, and 7. So that's cool. Famous Chariot people: Lady Diana, cool with that. Marilyn Monroe, Muhammad Ali, Farrah Fawcett Majors.
Okay.
Yeah. Pink.
Yeah.
Christian Bale, Stephen Hawking, John Kennedy Jr. He was a hottie.
So was Christian Bale.
Yeah, Johnny Depp.
Yeah. Kind of let himself go.
Billy Idol.
All right.
Yeah, let's go. All right. Now the thing that's different I'm seeing about you is that you have an 8 in you, and that is really cool. It relates to the frequency, the vibration of justice, being an advocate, being a humanitarian. It definitely calls to the need to find balance within you. And I'm going to read what my little mentor here, Lindsay, wrote about justice, life energy number 8, the advocate. What would this world do without the protective energy of the advocate? I cannot even imagine it. They are complex, complicated visionaries that seek justice and truth, not just for themselves, but for everyone.
I like that.
For real. They question everything. They are on guard for everyone. Humanitarians, politicians, animal activists. See?
I'm writing this down.
See how it's important, you all, to look at all the layers so that you really understand, we're not just that one number. You're all of this. And it's so cool how it comes out. And then when you see how like you and Huxley match up and stuff, it's really cool.
That is cool.
It starts to get undeniable. One thing is for sure. They have an opinion about the issues they care about, and they will engage in a passionate debate if you're up for the challenge. Love that about you. As children, okay, if they grow up in a war zone, it splits their energy in 2. So if you think of an 8 like as an infinite possibility, but when you were little, it got split. And you know how much this reminds me of you talking about living in the gap?
Yeah.
It happened when you were little. As children, if they grow up in a war zone, literally, or your parents are divorced, or however you want to describe what happened with your parents, it splits their energy in 2, and they spin because their spirit is divided between the 2 people on the planet they love and naturally prefer to remain neutral, which is never the case in a war between their parents.
Wow.
And then it just gets deeper and deeper and deeper with you and your dad, Sooner or later, they're going to have to pick a side, and this will haunt them and their delicate spirit forever. So that relates back to therapy and you not living in the gap and understanding that. And I can't tell you how to do that. But it will, understanding that, and when you're spinning and overthinking, and just be like, oh my gosh, I'm in the gap, and just try to center yourself, like come to the middle of that infinity symbol. You can even walk the 8. I know this sounds crazy, Reese, but when I'm really anxious or I really need to center or get a I'm praying to God about something and I can't settle down and meditate or be real still like that, I'll get up in a good area and walk a big 8 and breathe.
Wow.
And when I get to the middle, I'll kind of just be like, okay, God, I'm praying about this, or however you want to say it, how anybody wants to say it, or just your higher self. This is what I want. This is what I need. And then you keep walking and breathing. And then you kind of drop into the center in the middle and walk. And it only takes a few minutes. And if nothing else, you will calm down. And you'll be like, okay.
Yes.
At best, you're going to get downloads, whether you feel it's from Fred, your guardian angel, your ancestors who have passed, God, Jesus, whatever you want, or just your higher self. I believe that you're that intuitive, you're going to get downloads.
I love that. And what you said made me think of when my therapist says, when stress goes up, self-care has to go up.
I loved when you said that.
Yeah. So that's exactly, you just described it though. Like self-care to me is no longer like, I've heard people say like, you should go get a massage, or sure, that's great. I would love to. But honestly, it's more self-care of the mind for me. And whenever I do start to feel that way, I'm like, I'm going to take a longer walk today.
Yes.
Phone off. Like I'm not going to look at my phone. I'm going to look at like my dog's walking in front of me. I'm just going to like really try to center myself that way.
Yes, that's what I do too. And let me show you. I want you to do some things too. I don't think I'm crazy. Hold on.
I think we're past that.
I know you already know I'm crazy.
I'm kidding.
Okay, these aren't all my feathers, and I know I live in Florida and there's a lot of birds, but this hardly ever happens.
You collect them?
Well, I'll just randomly be walking with my dog somewhere, praying or wishing for a sign, and I'll get a feather.
My mom does that.
Oh, I want to talk about your mom too. We're going to run out of time.
I mean, I know you have a hair appointment. We can certainly talk about my mom if you would like.
I can go about 15 more minutes.
Sure.
Don't tell everybody I have a hair appointment. I already talked about
you had a hair
appointment. I know. I'm kidding. But the other cool thing, like my mom died on Mother's Day and I loved your show so much. Let me show you.
Oh, that's sad.
And I believe, so my mom had me when she was 40. Can you imagine, Reese?
Yeah, I can, because my sister's 45 now with a 1-year-old and a 4-year-old. Wow. Sounds like the worst thing I can possibly think of, but
yeah, and it's just hard. I don't want to talk about it and insult your sister or anything, but it's just hard because, I lost my mom. To me, it felt like too soon.
Well, yeah, I'm sure. I mean, that's different, but how old were you when she died?
It was 2009, so I was in my 40s, right?
That's the year Huxley was born. That's sad.
Yeah. And then my half siblings sued me. And then I had my leftover out. I had a hysterectomy, and then I had breast cancer and that near-death experience. I've been like, so when I got down, I was down, girl. And this has all really helped me. And now it's just blossomed into understanding my intuition and the signals that I get, the information I get, and trusting that it's for real. The cards, the charms, the numerology, all of it are just tools for me to be able to express all of this.
Do you think your mom is helping you with any of that?
I do, and that's what I'm about to tell you. And I mentioned her age because I believe she had a lot of strong abilities, but wouldn't share them, wouldn't talk about it. I wasn't raised and oh, Michael is here.
Hey, Michael Malloy.
He is the sweetest guy.
He is. He's very kind. We love Michael Malloy.
So kind. Thank you for being here. Thank you, everybody. I've just been
Yeah, guys, I'm seeing a lot of names and I appreciate, I mean, maybe you were already people over here. I don't know.
No, so
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you
Thank
for
you
supporting.
guys, and I hope it makes sense, and if it doesn't, come back for more. I'll keep going. But as I was really diving in and trying to heal myself too, which is a constant journey, I don't want anybody to think it ever ends. But we get better. We definitely get better, but we'll have things that'll take us back. Got to stay in the moment, right? We
Present.
get triggered. We're not God. We can't be perfect, but we can believe and keep the faith. And a few Mother's Days ago, a few years ago, as I was deep into all of this, and people were saying, well, ask for signs and believe it. You'll get it. You'll get the feathers. You'll get the coins. Hi, Michael. I was being real grumpy and sarcastic and condescending and like, fine, mom, if this is for real, send me a feather, send me a stupid coin or whatever. And then I went out, I walked the dog, like you said, and just got out of my head. Apparently, I was having a bad Mother's Day, 24 hours later, look what I found. I don't know if you can see it.
Is it a half of a coin?
It's a dime cut in half. Like the next day I go out, I look down and like, what's that? She's like, here, bitch. You don't believe me? I'll give you a coin. I'm just gonna cut it in half.
I got a coin for you right here.
Yeah. So I haven't stopped believing, and I love it when I hear you talk about signs from Fred. And I saw the little pixie right where you're sitting.
People say they see him a lot. Somebody on my last show or the one before left a comment. They were like, look at this part in your show. I don't know. It's probably hair.
No, see, I want you to believe in all of this.
Well, I
I
know.
don't want you to force or say you have to. It's just very.
I have no doubt Fred's sitting here with us right now. But like, and I think that night, that one I did. Remember it like went and it like went across. To me, that was not a hair. No way. But
No.
sometimes when I'm live, I see hairs floating in front of me and I'm like, I can see it. I can see the hair. So I don't know. I have 18, 19 cats now, remember? So
Yeah. And
there's
25
hair.
dogs. But
Yeah.
I have 5 dogs, 10 cats, and a bird.
You have 10
No.
cats?
No.
Okay.
I have 1 dog, and then my son is here for now, and he has a dog, 2 cats, a bird. The bird is 18.
Aww.
And there's a horse involved too. I'm a horse girl my whole life. So nature and animals are my go-to whenever things get.
Me too.
Yeah, that's definitely my go-to. One other thing I want to tell you while you're giving me the opportunity. Oh, and I want to know a little bit more about your mom.
Yeah, you could ask me anything about my mom.
2487. We're good. So I think what's interesting, and we'd have to do the dates. Oh, this little baby feather came out.
Oh, that's cute.
Put you back in there. I forget exactly when you, let's just say not outed, but started your YouTube channel. I forget what year that is, but right now in this year, so this is a little confusing. In numerology, most people will say your life path number is 2. I say that's your life energy, and then that's your code. The year you're in for me is your path this year, and you're in a 6th year.
I wrote that down. Okay.
Okay, and that's about emotional healing.
Oh, all right. I'm gonna write that.
So last year was really about your soul's purpose, renegotiating contracts with people, drawing a line. This is 2024. Restoring personal boundaries, offloading burdens that didn't belong to you, understanding your value and stepping into your power, healing issues of feeling unworthy and guilty, restoring your innocence. That's like going back and doing all that. What happened when I was a child, and let me make it fun again. Reflection on possible life path. And last year, interestingly enough, it could have been about family, marriage,
Wow.
union, birthing. That could be, about your sister and things like that. Inheritance, rituals, vows, opportunity to speak your truth, and healing.
That's weird.
Yeah. Now this year is life path 6, emotional healing. You are no longer numb. An opportunity to heal emotionally. Abandonment issues. Fear of change. May experience loss or death. Emotional imbalance, but also emotional recovery. Feeling overwhelmed, powerless, and fearful. I've seen you go through that.
Yeah.
Loss of relationships, but birthing new relationships. Okay. Confidence issues, fear of the unknown, fear of letting go, fear of no control, expression of grief.
Wow.
Grounding issues, but you know how to do that. Anger issues, and you got that. Faith and trust issues, and that's just what I was saying. Trust that you're going to find a coin cut in half from Fred.
Yeah.
And all that good stuff. And in anything, spiritual, religious, that means a lot to you. And this is a year of emotional growth, spiritual healing, strengthening personal power,
I like that.
restoring issues surrounding loss and fear of loss.
Yes, that's a big one for me.
Yeah, it really makes sense. I love that for you too. And then next year it gets better, better. And yeah, I mean, life's never perfect, but you're really going through it and in all the right directions from a
Okay.
numerology standpoint.
So basically what you're saying is don't quit.
Never. And I wanted to quit too. Here we are, the two high priestess ready to quit. No, we're not going to quit. And so my code is 2497.
Wow, we are similar.
Aren't we? Not.
I mean, what are the possibilities? There's all kinds, right?
Yeah. That's why it's really cool, all of you listening, and you especially, Reese, to kind of look at all the connections in your life. Do they match up? How are we similar? Why are we so there's not one friggin' thing in common, and you start to see whether we believe in we come into this world and we pick our families and we pick, these soul contracts. I don't know, but there's a lot of rhyme and reason to it.
Wow.
Without getting all woo-woo.
That's pretty cool though.
Yeah, I'm glad you like it. I appreciate you doing this with me.
Yeah, I think you should have me on again sometime. I would love to keep up this conversation. I'd be interested to know about Fred.
Oh, let me look at it real quick. Let's do it. I can give you a quick rundown.
Okay.
And I'll save all this. And if you need notes, like I have.
You didn't ask me about my mom either. We can always do that again.
Oh, I could spend a whole hour talking about your mom.
You're welcome to do that instead. You said you wanted to. You can ask me about my mom. My mom is super witchy.
Yeah, no, let's plan another live and go into that and maybe look at some more of the connections, like your mom, your dad, and your sister.
I think that would be kind of fascinating, honestly.
It's super fascinating. But what is Fred? Let's look at him.
His date of birth?
Yeah.
2/8/24. And you know what I love about that? Because I'm 7/8. 84. I like that we were both born on the 8s.
My ex-husband is 224.
No, he's not. Your ex-husband was not born in 1924.
Well, wait, 1924. What is that? Oh, what is it?
He's February 8th, 2/8.
Oh, February 8th. No, yeah, my ex is February 24th.
What are the chances? There's no way.
You freaked me out. I was like, stop. I heard that. I was like, stop.
I'm the only one that marries centurions around here.
Oh my God, you're going to freak out. Am I doing this right? Yeah. Oh my God. 15, 16, 17, 18. I wonder what Fred's childhood was like. Did he fight in World War II and stuff like that?
Yes.
Okay, so write this down. And I wonder, you probably will know a lot about this. So Fred's overall energy is an 8. And his code is 8782. Do you see the similarities there?
Let me go back to what I'm 2487, 8782. Yeah. And an 8 is what? Humanity.
The advocate, the justice. But like if he grew up in a war zone, he fought early, his parent, maybe he grew up having to really take care of himself at a young age. He kind of has that split energy too.
Yes.
And then all the other characteristics that come with it. And a lot of these numbers, we have boundary issues, fear issues, like a lot of that. So
interesting. So he's an 8, he's a 7, like me. Okay. And
a 2.
Wow. Michael Malloy, he was in the Navy.
Now, what year did you meet? Let's see. What year did you meet Fred? Or marry Fred? Do you know your wedding date?
10/16/2018.
Well, 10/16 is my son's birthday, just so you know that.
Interesting.
What's 8 and 6? 14?
I think so.
Okay.
Yep, it is.
Wow. You guys, when you married, you were in a 1 year of like new beginnings, change, a lot of change. It might have not been super easy, but still magical.
Yeah.
And what year did he pass, or what's his
2019 for 2019? We were married 6 months and 4 days.
420. That's kind of funny. Sorry.
I know.
Wow. So he passed in a 9 year, which is completions.
Oh, wow.
You married, new beginnings, and he passed on in a year of completions for him.
Wow. Huh.
Yeah. And then in 2019, let's see what year you were in. You're 807. 17. You were in a 9 year too. Completions.
That year?
Yeah, 2019.
Wow.
You and Fred were both in a year of 9. And I can read to you what that's like. I know what it feels like. You know what it feels like. 2025 is a year of completions too, for a lot of reasons, but not you. You're in a 6. But in the global sense, they're having a lot of fun in the chat, and I love that. That's fine. Talk amongst yourselves. Don't pay any attention to us. That's fine.
They are. They're paying attention.
Okay, but besides completions, I'll read this to you, and then we'll behind the scenes make more plans to do this fun stuff. All right, a truth surfaces you can no longer deny. So this was 2019. This truth has the power to change your perspective and free your mind. Everything comes full circle in this year. Karma may revisit you in your life. There may be a death, a loss, an ending of relationships, but there will also be birthing around you and new growth and opportunity. This is a year of honoring all that you've been through. It honors the lessons life has bestowed on you and drawing from the wisdom of your wounds. You may draw a line in this year. You may put a stop to something or someone that has haunted you forever. And I'm not quite sure, but another year or two after that, you were out of Scientology.
Right.
So a lot changed after that. But also, what's your wedding date with Jeff?
June 12th, 2022. Hold on.
Okay.
21.
I was like, okay.
21. Because we were married just about 3 years.
That's weird. So you were in a life path 6 then, like you are now.
So I'm going to get married again?
No. Let me look at it.
I was kidding. I'm not getting married.
Help Liz plan this again. They want to do this again. Thank you, guys. We'll
Yeah.
see. If Gigi hadn't given her chat, there's no grifting here, haters. I'm just kidding. Thank you, guys. I'm just kidding. No, let me look at.
I'm great everywhere I go.
I guess, like it's fair to say back with Jeff, maybe you were trying to go through some emotional healing, but a lot of loss of relationships, a lot of just ups and downs, I would say. And that's kind of happening now too. But there is that sense of emotional and spiritual growth and restoring your personal power. And I know you thought that was where you were headed with Jeff. And then people, everybody has free will, right?
Yeah.
So you go into something thinking it's the best, and this is going to restore my personal power and my stability and my emotional balance. And it did for a bit, and then it didn't.
Yeah, true.
So there's been a lot of evolution through all of these things. And we can also look at the last one's birth date.
Jeff?
Well, there's that. And then the next
Tommy? Tommy is 7/3/70. Jeff's is tomorrow. His birthday's he's May 15. So his birthday's in 2 days, Thursday.
What year was he born?
58, 5/15/58. Oh, Liz, that's really nice. From one Liz to another, wishing you great success with your channel. That's so kind, Liz.
Oh, thank you, Liz Tricks. You didn't have to do that. I knew when I opened my mouth about grifting.
I'm a grifter on the go. I'm a grifter on the go. I do it everywhere.
You guys can hate on her for that.
Yeah,
Liz Tricks. I want to be Liz something too.
I love Liz Tricks. She's amazing.
What's interesting about right? Oh, I get it. Well, so Jeff is a lot different than you.
I'm shocked.
I know. Okay, so he's an overall 8. We've got a theme here. But he is 8/6/6/5. And the thing about a 6 is it mirrors a 9, right? 6 and 9s mirror each other. So this is another layered reading. But what I can tell you is he has a tendency to spin a lot, like freak the fuck out a lot. Excuse my French, everybody. And also addiction issues, whether
Yeah.
whether it's sex, food, this, that, or the other. And I wonder what his parents were like. And also, I believe he comes to this world really wounded. That's Jeff. Now, Tommy is a little bit more like you, but different. Tommy also spends and has addiction issues for sure. He's
What
an over, yep. His overall number is a 9, which is the hermit, which is really a prophet. It's somebody who can do the inner work and shine that inner light. But a 9 reflects a 6, and they can spin. And if they're not right, they will have addiction issues and all that kind of stuff. And then Tommy is he's a 9, 8, 3, 7. So see how you have more in common with Tommy than Jeff. But by far, I would say Fred was the dude, because he doesn't spin like these guys and have all these other things that are, I can tell you when we go deep into the reading.
Hello. What's my overall number?
2.
Oh, you're right. You said that, but I didn't write it down. So I'm overall a 2. Fred's an 8. Tommy's a 9. And Jeff was a what?
8.
He was an 8. Okay.
Yes, but the difference between Fred and Jeff is Jeff has 2 6s in him. So really Jeff's code is 8 6 9 6 9 5. Like complicated. And Tommy is 9 6 8 3 7. So yeah, I mean there's some commonalities there, but you can see where you're dealing with other people that tend to really spend, probably have more addiction issues than you've ever been used to dealing with. Anger issues, wounds that just won't heal.
Yes. Both of those men had some serious addiction and anger. It's weird because addiction in 2 totally different forms.
Yeah.
Jeff never had drug addictions or anything like that, not even alcohol.
No, but sex and porn, food, even hoarding, all of it is.
Yeah, sex, definitely, obviously, but yeah, food, big time. Isn't that interesting?
Very interesting. Yeah.
Okay. I know you got to go. This was fun. We should do this again.
I would love to. You know, I knew I'm one person too who could go move out there by you in the middle of nowhere with animals and like a little mini pony running through our house, and it'd be really fun.
Well, let's pick a piece of land and maybe we could build.
Yeah, let's do that. We'll have a little commune, the cult of Reese. See?
Yeah.
It might be our headquarters. Who knows?
Yeah, I can't wait for them to talk about it.
But also there's a lot of us in Florida, and there's a lot of us who have July birthdays.
Where do you mind saying close to? Are you close to Clearwater?
Oh, I don't care. Yeah, I'm in Apollo Beach. Do you know where that is? I'm in a little tiny town between Tampa and Sarasota. Like I'm across the bay from Clearwater. When I look out, I can see St. Pete, Tampa, McDill. Do you know where Bradenton is? Sarasota?
I've heard of it. I don't know where it is.
Okay, so just south of Tampa. And I'm in a little tiny town. We're all on canals and everybody likes to boat. So it's a boating community, but I say it's a drinking community that likes to boat.
Wow.
Yeah, everybody drinks here.
Well, Floridians are so much different. There's so much, like everybody rides around on golf carts and parties.
Yeah, I don't know who's working. And so I stay here and stay focused on this. right?
If I could afford it, I'd move to a town like that. I think I'd be happy in a beach town. Honestly, I do. I think I would really enjoy it.
You tan well.
That too, but I don't know. I really do. One day I kind of want to do that, like move to a town where it's just you can kind of walk around, and someday I don't fit in. I'm not going to end up here. I know that.
Yeah, but I think it's been nice for you to be with your mom and rebuild some of this. And
Very
so
much.
I
I'm talking
will.
years
I
from now.
can't wait. Maybe your mom will want to come on the channel one day.
She's so witchy.
Well,
I don't usually talk about it, but my mom is very witchy.
I think you think like in a good way.
Oh, I think a good way for sure, but I think she really believes that like she's got some, some sort of power that she's.
I bet she does, because I think you got a lot of it from her. Did I write her birthday down?
No, 4/18/55. I don't know where that comes from because her mother is not that way at all. Was not that way. But my mom looks like a witch, and like she'll talk about that. Like she's a good witch. But she's like, I can cast some evil spells on people if I need to, kind of a thing. And I'm like, okay, well.
Yeah, well, we all need that in our back pocket. Little poop. Bleep, bleep, bleep. All right, hold on. 13, 14, 15. Interesting. So your mom's overall energy is a 6. And then her, which means she's got a 9. Okay, she's got a complicated code, but let's go with this. She's a 6, which in tarot is the Lover's card. It's the muse. Is she very creative? And
I mean, is she very creative?
Are there like 2 people in there? A lot of duality in her?
Yeah.
Okay. She's 6'4", 9'2". So you guys have the 4 and the 2 in common. She's a little different. So if you think about this, if you think about the 6 and the 9 marrying each other, she's actually 6, 9, 4, 9, 6, 2. So there's some similarities between
witchy, Liz. Look at it.
Aww.
She's witchy looking.
Oh, stop. I dig her. I want to talk about her more.
In her hair. I was going to tell you to stop doing it too.
I think, though, what's funny is there's things about her, Tommy and Jeff, that are a lot alike.
Oh, I could see that.
Wow. Really?
Yeah.
And she's quite different than you and Fred. And
she's very different than me. I wasn't raised by her. She's very different than me.
Yeah. And that's part of what this is your mom. I got to keep this. I can do some more numerology about this. And yeah, like I never wanted to beat up on your mom about not being there, but it shows in your numbers too.
Yeah.
Even if I knew nothing, I'd be like, what happened to your mom?
Yeah. We're not similar at all.
And what was going on too with her and your dad when she was pregnant with you, that has a lot to do with, that's 9 months you're in there.
Yeah.
Hearing it, absorbing it, I'd be curious how your pregnancy went with Huxley. So much to talk about.
Well, we can do that again. We can do a follow-up on that.
Okay.
Honestly, I'd always hoped that he wasn't my real father because my mom boned down with the lead singer of Nazareth. And I always thought that would be cool. But sadly, I think that was in the 70s, you said. Plus, I look like my father. That would make for a neat story.
Yeah. Can you get his birth date? We'll just check it out. See, like if there's
Nazareth guy or my dad?
the other, yeah,
The Nazareth guy?
the Nazareth guy, and we'll just see if like maybe in a past life there was a connection. He might have been your brother in a past life.
I doubt it. She boned a lot of people in the 70s. I think he was just one of many. Who hasn't? All right, I've said too much.
Well, I just love you and that you were open to all of this.
Thank
And
you. I love you back. You've been with me forever. You've been with me for a long time.
Well, I told you, it just cosmically happened that I'm here with my weird interests, and then I go over there, and then this happens.
Weird.
It's really weird. I was like, I have to have her on the show.
Yeah, it's weird. Well, let's do it again. We can do a follow-up show, and
here, I'm going to do this for Peggy. Look what Peggy says. We did a lot of naughty stuff in the 70s.
If they're the haters, I can see the haters now judging my mom for doing stuff in the 70s. Give me a break. Everybody did. Now, I wasn't there, but I've read stories.
They're laughing at Peggy. Well, they better not be talking about it. They got the wrath of me to deal with. No, I'm kidding.
Oh,
but I love the lady that you mentioned yesterday. Please give her all of our best.
Yes, I will. I liked her. I'm going to talk about her more today on my show.
I dig her, and I like the way she explains things. Sometimes I feel like I never get my point across, and she was like, boom, boom, boom.
Badass woman. Yes, I'm actually going to talk more about that, and I think I'm going to talk about some of these notes I made because I think it's very fascinating.
Oh, good. I'm so glad.
I'll have the mods post your channel again so more people can come over here and subscribe.
Thank you, sweetheart. What time do you know when you're going to go live based on your life right now?
Next 2.5 hours, 2.5 to 3. So probably by 4:30 my time.
Okay, cool.
Trying to do a little bit earlier for the UK crowd. I've been doing lives that are a little bit too late. So I think I'm going to do a little bit. Yes, Dawn, a little bit earlier today.
Okay, good. And I will be there. Peggy wants to know how Finn is, and we'll get to that. Reese is going to talk about that.
Yes. Yeah, I'm definitely going to talk about that. He or she, Peggy, is something we'll discuss.
Oh, yeah. Well, I've been calling him he. And another little coincidence, but I think they're synchronicities, is my daughter, one of her best friends is Finn. So
I love that. It is a cool name.
It is. It's
a cool name. Yeah. Okay.
All right, love. Well, good luck with everything, and I'll catch you. Thank you for being so kind to me and sharing your time and
of course.
energy.
Did I email you my phone number back? I know you emailed me yours. Did I email mine back?
I'm not sure. I haven't checked my email today, to be honest.
Email it to you right now, and that way you can text me, and we can just set up another time to do this.
Okay, that'd be great.
Enjoy your hair appointment.
Yeah, well, it's not the enjoyment, it's the absolute necessity of it. And I have that wow stuff that you're not gray yet, but you can cover.
I love gray hair. Why wouldn't you want to have gray hair? I think it's so pretty.
I like it on other people, but I think I'll look all washed out and really old.
Okay. I think
I'm not ready. I'm not ready.
All right. Well, that's fair. That's fine. I'm emailing you my phone number right now.
Okay. I'll be sure to call you 200 times a day.
Yeah. Yeah. Please. People like that. And I'll show you how quickly I respond.
Okay. So I love you guys in the chat for being here and coming from Reese's channel too.
Yeah,
and
guys. Thank you.
I hope you all got to meet in the chat while Reese and I were talking. I see you're having a good time over there. And that's good. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, this was fun. I mean it, guys. Thanks for coming over to support her. She's been supporting us for a long time.
Oh, Lumen's here. Oh,
I love it. Look at everybody's here. I love it. This is
I love it. Thank you so much. Thank you, guys.
Okay, have fun at your hair appointment, and I'll see you guys all in a few hours. I would say 2.5 to 3 hours, everybody. I'll post it in the Facebook group.
Okay. Thank you again, and good luck with everything, and we'll catch you in just a little bit.
Okay. We'll see you soon. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody. Much love, Reese.
Bye, babe. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.